Welcome back, everybody. So let's start today's lesson. We have some bullet points in our folder. So let's check what we have there. If you remember, this is our project and let's open it. I hope you see my screen, right?
Yes.
Great. So we usually go to this notes. So what we have there for this, yeah, we agreed to learn set and map, but I think it's better to postpone it for next week. And this structuring and spreading, and this, if we have time, maybe I think it's not even a good idea to talk about that today. Today, it's better to just work on this document object model, and we will move also this class and object or object oriented programming to next week. Yeah, so let's do that, and we start. So we do this revision of last week and higher order function again revision. And more on DOM. So we learned today creating elements, adding attributes. I think before creating, let's learn getting elements. Yeah, getting means we have already the element on the HTML document and we get it using JavaScript. Creating HTML elements, we create actually HTML elements using JavaScript, and then adding attributes, and then handling events. Yeah, I think we can summarize in this category. Okay, good. So let's start. Someone asked today that you want more revision of higher order. Revision higher order function. Yes. Okay. Then let's talk about honest make square a function. Maybe I think I can even make a traditional or function make square like this. This is a, and then I want to return. I have here a parameter, and I just this. I believe everybody knows what this means, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So it's just a simple function that turns a number to its square, right? Yeah. So let's connect or link this file with the index, unless otherwise it doesn't work, right? So this is supposed to be here because I don't like to be confused with other scripts. So okay, then why it was script, and it just connected with today's file is actually, which one was it? Something, this one, yeah. Then I think we didn't run this file, so I have to run it, right? Live server and Control-Shift-I to open the console. The console is open here, and I want it to go to the right, and I want this to be the left. As you can see, there's nothing. Yeah, of course, we didn't have here, so we have to invoke this one. Console.log, let's invoke. Invoking or calling is somehow the same. Make a square. And the square of 1, everybody knows it's 1. The square of 2, and everybody knows I believe it's 4. The square of 3 is 9. But last time we learned that instead of writing such a function, actually this row function is so beautiful, right? And it's so clean. Let's see, and we can, of course, you can write it like this. It's okay, absolutely okay. But if you don't have much code inside the block code, we call this block code. If you have a curly bracket, we call it block because it's like a fence, right? So then we will remove this and remove this, and we just return the value. So returning an explicit return, the same. This function and this function are the same. I prefer to write something like this. Yeah. So how about to make a cube of this? How do you make the cube? If I want to make this cube, what do I do? Times? Guys, tell me. Cube means, I think, as far as I know, a cube of something means a multiply 2 times 2 times 2, right? That's a cube. This is square. So this is already square. This function make things square, right? So if I multiply it by 3, then it will be a cube, 27. If it's 2, this also should be 2 to find the cube. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but now instead of like making it like this, I want this to be a higher order function. That higher order function, I call it const make cube. Oh yeah, the make cube takes a callback, or just a callback is a fancy word or very annoying word and confuse people. I just call it function, that func or function that is a placeholder for some function. And then maybe I may have one parameter. Okay, and then since I'm interested in making cube, I call it return, hey, callback. Yeah, I told you that, for instance, when Kirsi was about to meet someone and she said, hey, wait me later. Wait for some time. Then now it's time to talk, actually. Yes, func. Yes, now you give it a parameter. I want to make use of this parameter, n. And then multiply again by n, just gives me the cube of the function. Now let's see. Make a cube. The cube of 3 should be 27. What is that? Func, yeah. So the reason why I didn't pass a place, I didn't pass an argument for this parameter. So I have to pass make square. Make square. Do I have to call it here? No, I don't call it. Just you pass the parameter because it's waiting. It's a kind of a callback. It will be called inside. Yeah, great. And now, as you can see, 27. This is the concept of higher order function in a simple way. How is it?
It's understandable, the logic, of course, of it.
Yeah, so these higher order functions are highly used by third-party libraries or packages and also high order functions. For instance, array dot, what is this, for each. The for each function, if you remember, it has its own, then it takes like the item, the index, and it's actually another, the array itself, something like this. And then this is how it goes. Let me show you. So const numbers. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, maybe it's up to 5. That's a very good data. Now you may just attach these numbers, and then you want to just read console.log item. Yeah, as you can see. So this actually has a higher order function inside. So even you can write it outside if you want, and you can give it a name. Const callback. I can call, and then just write this callback here. It should work again. But most of the time, the callback, if you don't have a plan to reuse it, you don't have to write it outside like this. Yeah. So even we don't need these parameters, just I want to need that. Then I will just take this inside. We don't need a name. You can put it. And the last time I told you, or even today, we decided to use arrow function. It's so beautiful. And then actually you remove that. And then even you don't need this curly bracket because there's nothing here, and you just return this. If you want to multiply it by itself, you can get something like this. And if you remember also last time when you use map numbers dot map, for instance the item, and we can just use item times dot item, and we can store this value. Const xyz for the timing. Please don't be lazy and use such kind of variable names like me. Yes, your boss might just be so upset if you use xyz variables. As you can see, we got this, but I can see square nums squared nums might be very good. At least it has some meaning, but you should come up with very good variable names. What I'm trying to show you now is actually map is a functional programming that use higher order functions. That means it uses callback inside. Maybe we can filter also from this. Okay, const, I want to just filter out the evens, and then map numbers dot filter, and then num or item. Okay, if num is divisible by 2, then it's going to be uneven. So just then console.log, it's evens. As you can see, to end for are evens, and if you want to filter out the odds, then you just change this to the opposite. That you just negate it. Yeah, great. So, and even we saw reduce. If you remember, const total reduces. It's like making a fruit mix of like if you have a banana or mango and some fruits, and if you just make a blend of this, you get some smoothie or some mix of juice. And then numbers don't reduce, but in the reduce case a bit different. We have accumulator and current, and then we just had the accumulator and the current. Yes. Now, why? Yes, because, but by the way, this could be any. You can call it A and B, okay? Doesn't matter. Console.log and total. And it could be 15. If you want to multiply, even you can multiply it. But there should be another parameter here. Now the parameter should be 1. Even it's giving me, that's so smart. It identifies it for some reason anyway. But it's safe to make this 1 when you are multiplying it. And it's good to use 0 when you are summing. Great. So we saw at least the most important functional programming. Those are the map. For each, usually it just doesn't return. Instead, it iterates through the items. Map, it gives you a map of something. You give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you got for 1, you got 1, for 2, you got 4, for 3, you got 9, for 4, you got 16 and something. So as you can see, this is mapping. So it returns an array. So if you have 5 items, you should get 5 items in a different format. Yeah, it could be the same format or a different format. Even you can change it to be an object. Let's change it to be an object, for instance. So the value was actually the item. You can say item is 1, and the square, something like this. What is happening here? No, don't do that. Yes, when I'm returning this arrow function get confused. Okay, so I have to return it like this. Yeah, as you can see now, my items are actually still 5, but the structure is a bit different. For item 1, its square is 1. For item 2, its square is 4. 3, 9, 4, 16, 5, 25. Yeah, so you can structure. Shall we also change it to a different, like instead also, if this structure is not something we like, we may also change it to something like this. For instance, hey item, how about to a square? What's happening? Yeah, I think I destroyed one of the. Now, yes, we have this, and we don't need this. We need this, and we need this, I think. Yeah, as you can see now, I have for 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9, and it's a square, what is array of arrays. I think this would be enough for the revision for higher order function. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because if we go all over again through all the functional programmings, it would be tough to cover. Okay, now let's think somehow differently and let's talk about DOM, okay? And it's going to be, I will call this DOM revision. I think someone is, okay, DOM revision. Even though I'm calling it DOM revision, we will just start almost all over again. So feel free to ask as if you never heard of DOM, okay? Yeah, so I have to stop this, where is it? Why I don't see it? It's cluttered because, yeah, I want to stop it here. Great, so now let's create an HTML document here by generating something like this. So DOM, so who would like to explain DOM? What's DOM?
Document object model.
Yes, document object model. So let's run this and see what does that mean actually. Yeah, so Control-Shift-I again. As you can see, document, you mentioned that document means this document, this HTML document, and this HTML document is actually actually read as in object, JavaScript object. And you know that JavaScript object is something like this, and it has a key and a value. Do you remember that concept? A key and a value, a key and a value. So now if I write this document, I may access actually this. Let's see. Maybe I think I have to change to that way. And then if you see, now we got our document. If you go to the head, actually, yeah, we don't have any. Maybe you see also other script and something. We didn't add a script or iframe. This is added by just the browser, okay? So when the browser rendered this, it added additional scripts and these iframe elements. Okay, now let's add some H1 document object model lesson. Right. Yeah, you see it here. And also we can see that if we want document, and if you go, you can see it here inside the body. Can we access this using JavaScript? Let's, before we go there, since we can also write JavaScript here, we can access this value. For instance, we can access it by document get elements by tag name. What is the tag name? As you can see, it's H1, right? It's H1. Yeah, this get elements by tag name, it usually gives you a collection. A collection is a kind of an array, but it's not exactly an array. It's an array-like object. I want you to take this as an array-like object, but not exactly an array. Okay, so then we have to access the first value by passing the 0 index, and now I managed to get actually this. And then if I'm interested to get the text, actually I can say text content. Now I figured out this, as you can see. If I want to style this, for instance, if I want to style it, hey, I want to style it, and the color, and now I give it a red, because now as you can see, I am setting, it's not getting. I access, because if you say dots, hey, go to the style property, and the style property it's an object, and it has also a color property, and then actually changing the value to red. Now it's red. Okay. But how about if we have some other properties? P1, we can say, first, let's learn getting. P2, then we will learn writing. And then P3, then after we will learn setting attributes. Yeah, now for instance, instead of yeah, you can just keep that document.get elements by tag name, and I want to access all of them. I destroyed it. All the P elements, and then I can actually call them paragraphs, because it's good to store, and then it's P. Yeah. So if I just Have you seen my paragraph is actually, it's a collection, as I told you, a collection of what? Paragraph elements. These guys are now captured. You capture them using JavaScript, and then you can do whatever you want. You can modify the content, you can style, or you can change the content to dynamic data. That's what we've been talking about. What's this dynamic or what? So yeah, interactive, all those things. Once if you manage to capture it, yes, you have all the right. And then as you can see, it looks like an array. It has 0, index 1, 2. And if you go in detail, actually it's a JavaScript object. Later see. Key and value, different properties or keys related to each of the p tags. For instance, this is related to the first one because I opened it from here. Did you get what it means, this DOM object, a document object model?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the concept. So if you go for an interview, hey, do you know DOM? Have you ever done any project with DOM? How do you explain DOM? So you should be able to explain it very well. But most people do not. Even most programmers do not know even DOM because in real life, you may not work that much with the DOM. Instead, you use libraries like React, Vue.js, Angular, Ember. There are hundreds and hundreds of JavaScript libraries that can help you to be more productive and to achieve quite a lot in a day. But using a pure JavaScript, it takes a long time to develop. Something you can do fancy, lots of good stuff, and the limit is the sky. That's what they say. If you just use something, I mean, very vanilla or pure JavaScript, you can do almost anything because it doesn't have any limitation, but it takes time. Yes, so now let's do this. Let's iterate through the paragraph. Hey, const, if you remember, for const para of paragraphs, and let's just see console.log instead of this, not fancy, right? Instead paragraph dot text. Yeah, that's not even fancy, but let's just change the value. Instead of text, it should be text content, right? Change it because we don't have value. I was expecting to change this, but it didn't. Why?
There is typo.
Where?
Text content. Should it be
Yes.
content?
Yes, thank you. That's the reason. As you can see, we managed to change everything at once. But for instance, if we want to change, okay, for lengths, for let I is equal to 0, I less than or less than equal to paragraph dot length, because it has a length I plus plus, and let's see, let's change the color. If I is equal to, divisible by 2, and if it's 0, I'm in favor of so what's this, paragraphs, and we have to use the index, right? This, the iteration, you have to use it as an index. Dot style, dot color, and let's change it to green. Else, let's change it to something else. A red, for instance. Yeah, I told you that sometimes you can avoid the a curly bracket or the block code if you don't have much code. So as you can see, I managed to change this is even and it was green. And if you have many elements, it works like that. For instance, let's modify. Yes, and let's see, let's run our code again. Of course, we have to start from the beginning. Maybe I have to also just, have you seen this? Sometimes if you want to clear, you have to do this. Yes. Then we have to do this. Yeah. Great. Now we managed to know how to access, right? How to access, how to gate and manipulate. DOM manipulation, they call it. Is it clear, guys? You can write this code. Yes. You can write this code on the VS Code. For instance, let's do the same. Let's do the same. We don't need here. And for instance, if you do not like to also create another separate, what did I select? That's crazy. Anyway, I can just now copy it.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
What's the best practice when you're manipulating the DOM? Is there like, because I think sometimes you add like you change, for instance, styling in the HTML document, and then sometimes you style the CSS sheet to make that sort of bring in different classes and out and in. You know, what would be the best practice there?
Okay, good. I will answer that. Yes. Now, as you can see, we have the file here. For some reason, my editor is not working. Okay. Or maybe let me try to have some beautiful. Yeah, I will come to that. Okay. Yes, for maybe I think I can also answer. This can also give you a very good example. Yeah.
Yep.
This is good enough to make it clear. For instance, as you can see, I am dynamically changing the color based on some condition. Have you seen it?
Yep.
So in this such kind of situation, there's no any way you just write CSS style and get this result. You have to really write it this way. Because your style is changing based on some condition, based on some situation. So it's yours, it's not only your content, actually, there is some dynamic change of color or font style or something. If that's the case, you should really write it this way. You can't avoid.
Because if I come with an example, like I built like a, like I tested with one thing where you could actually say I create 3 different classes of divs in CSS, and they're all different color. So say, for instance, if it's a game and I want, when the winner, like when the player wins, I will change to the div, the background to the div that actually looks like green, for instance.
Yeah.
So then that way I'm not really changing the style, but I'm just, you know, changing between different divs. I might be hiding one div.
Okay.
So that kind of like.
Yes. Yeah. Both are possible in both ways, but still there should be some JavaScript touch there. At some point, you have to hide it with.
Yeah.
It could be JavaScript or just within CSS, and the JavaScript should turn it on, the hidden thing, or exactly. the other way. So there should be some kind of a JavaScript touch there. But the best practice I would recommend, give the role of JavaScript, give the role of CSS to style your application if it is not dynamic. But if there is no any way you can avoid, like for instance this, you have to use it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, just write your style in here and just style it.
I'm just wondering, like, if you look at, for instance, what would be more appreciated from a developer point of view.
Yes, yeah. The reason is there's again, now I can't really give you a very precise or comfortable answer, because now when it comes to this styled component in React with a library, actually they write everything, every CSS as in a JavaScript. So yeah, it's just the paradigm is changing. But 5 years ago or something, there was this separation of concern. They call it separation of concern. You give this styling task for CSS and content for HTML and this dynamic or interactivity to JavaScript. But anyway, actually nowadays JavaScript is handling almost everything.
Yeah.
And the importance, I think, once if you made it, it's so easy to reuse. Yeah, that is. But I think we will see both sides, and you will really notice the difference. I think when we start applying something. Now let's move on. I hope now everybody should know how to access, right? You can access it if some document is there, right?
Yes.
Can you type just one for me? Did you understand what we did? Just type one. If you do, then we move on. Okay, I think it seems everybody got what we have done so far. Actually was accessing. And do you know what we used? Get elements by tag name. Can we do differently? For instance, how about selecting them by class, actually? And we can say para. I can just give them this for all of them. I think 3 is enough for me because the additional is just.
Yeah, I think you use a query selector.
Yes, I will come to that. Get elements by class name, and the name of the class is actually para. And again, we managed to select it. So far, to select multiple items, I think I can write to select multiple items. Here we can use get elements by tag. Yeah, JavaScript is so disciplined that it follows the naming. As you can see, it's a camel case from the beginning to the end. And also it uses the English grammar, the proper English grammar, as you can see, because we are about to grabbing multiple items. So it says, hey, elements, and by what? By their tag name. So one way. Another way also, we can do the same, but by their class name. Get elements, this will be still plural, but by class name. This is, and whenever we want to select one item, selecting one item, what was the method we used? Do you remember, guys? Get element by ID, and the ID goes here, the ID, and then tag name tag name comes in here, and class name comes in here. Yeah. Is this methods, are these methods clear so far?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
then if these methods are clear for you, I am not in favor of these methods, guys, because I prefer document query selector. Okay, really? Something else, something new? Okay, I will tell you, this is so easy. This is how it goes. Document dot query selector. As you can see, and if you, for instance, just write P, let's see, by printing console.log, and let's just remove this and refresh. Yeah, I managed to select the first item, as you can see, document query selector, and then the tag name. Okay. Or if you just you just select all of them. Yeah. But the difference is actually here, a node list. Node list. The previous, in this way we got HTML collection. It's a bit different. This is also an object-like array. Then how about if you are in, you can also use class name actually but now you should write dot para. As you can see, still I managed to select them all. So and again, can I use this also like in an ID? You can use ID of, for instance, paragraph para first, and let's create the first one. Para, sorry, ID para first. I think what did I do wrong? There might be some.
Need a hashtag.
Yes, you're right. It should have a hashtag in here. Yep. Have you seen? Yeah. So my recommendation from today on, because I have to teach you everything, but my recommendation from today on, let's use just document.query and forget about this or the other. Okay. So easy to use. So just what you use is document.query selector, or if you want to select multiple items, you can say document.query selector all, and by tag name or class name whatsoever. Yeah, you will see that. So we did it here already. Is it clear?
Can I comment one thing? I read that it's a little bit faster if you use get element by ID or by class or tag name, because it's so specific, so the computer can sort of process it faster. So it depends on if you have a very big script, then it could be.
It could be.
But if you have like smaller scripts, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it could be. That could be possible. That could be because, yeah, there might be efficiency difference between those methods. But I didn't check so far. But to learn and understand the DOM somehow faster, this just for some people it takes some time to understand the different. And when we deal with document query selector, we have just one selector, one method. But what it varies actually, this. It could be a tag name, or it could be an ID or a class name. Yeah, I take your feedback. There might have some efficiency or performance difference. Yeah, good. So now let's destroy this and create it using, so this was somehow I think it's not a very good idea to distribute document. I call this getting. Yeah. And I have to create another file for, let's create another file. DOM, yeah, creating. And revision.js, not HTML, sorry. And it's HTML, and then DOM, and it's creating HTML elements. Yeah. So I think if this is running, but I don't see it, why it's, I don't see it. Let's run this. Yeah, because that's running. Yeah, I should stop it here. Great. Now we can run the new. Great, it's empty, right? So let's create. I don't like to create a separate script, so I want to just work here, okay? Now, let's create it dynamically. Of course, to create dynamically, you have to have the content in some form, maybe in an array form. So let's take the values from here, this data, and at least I have to have the content. Maybe I have to create this all over again. How do I create, for instance, I have some data, columnist data, I may call it, and it's in a form of array. So I have to clean this. I'm interested only in the text. Hey, I'm interested in this part. Yes, and the second part. And we don't need this. And even we may not need that one also. And I may just keep this also somewhere. Title. Title. And yes, yeah. I think everybody is so happy when you see this, right? Because this is something you know, but why is this? Did I miss some indentation or something somewhere? I can see a different. Let's see if the best way to see is just Control-Shift-I and see the console. Yeah, everything is okay. And let's just get this to the left. Yeah, now the plan is actually we want to create, so you can, if you have just such kind of array, what it should come to mind, loop. So for, yeah, honest, the text in data of data, and then you should create some kind of let paragraph every time, document dot create. Maybe I think when I'm looping like this, it might be hard for you just to understand, and let's just forget about this. To create a document, what you should see, document dot create element. This is the method you need. And then the name of the element you want to create. For instance, let's create document, create element, and then H1. Okay, but can we see it here? No. And after we create, it's good to put it something like this, for instance, H1. And we have to append it because it has some hierarchy to the body, okay? Let's append it to the body. But before we append it also, this should have content. So h1 dot text content. I want it, the text content should be this one. So I want it to be title. Then document dot body append h1. I am appending the child. Hey, have you seen it now? Append, or actually I prefer append child, as in a child. So now if you just go and elements, you may see here inside the body. Great, so we did that. So whenever you want to create different element, if it is a paragraph, you paragraph, H1, H2, span, small, div, whatsoever. Yep. So creating is just what you should remember. Is one method, that is create element. Great. Now let's create element for all this using loop. Yeah. For const, for P, maybe we shall text actually. Text E of data. We can create paragraph, late paragraph, document dot create an element, and then I want to be P. Then for this P, I want to be the text content, text content wants to be text. But we didn't append it, so we have to append it every time. Document dot body dot append child every time the P. Oh yeah, so we append them all. Yeah, even while now, at the same time, even when we are creating them, p.class name. We can give them also class name, paragraph. If you see now, let's go and check our, have you seen? It has paragraph class. But we created it using this. Is it clear what I'm doing?
Yes.
Yeah, the first what we did was we were accessing what we had, but now we are building from scratch. Actually, we are building the whole DOM structure using the, of course, it's not the whole DOM structure. You have this at the top, you have here at the top, but you can actually build everything from the beginning if you want. Okay, so that is accessing, and even we manage. Yeah, there is this set attribute. For instance, instead of class name, this p.set attribute class, you may say paragraph. Let's see what we, as you can see, you can also use this set attribute. And even you may link it to, for instance, if I want to link everything, and let me just try to link it with this. And p to set attribute href, and yeah, but href it couldn't be because the parameter should be a. This should be anchor tag, so that's no. But I can give it a title. Title means actually, do you know the title attribute? This is a paragraph. I'll show you. Since I gave it, whenever you hover, it says this is a paragraph. Have you seen? Yeah.
Sorry, can you share the code? I didn't manage to get it work.
Yes, which part?
this last part with paragraphs. Yes.
I think after this could be better. I will share with you on Telegram. Yes, great. I have shared with you.
Thank you.
Yes, Peter's class. I think class list, we can have class list. Yeah, I think I forgot how to use class list. Class list DOM. Yeah, one of the way is how you use, and this is to remove the class you have, class list remove if you have already, and you can. Yeah, class list add, yes, class list add. Yeah, that is the something I forgot. I will show you. Sometimes we may class list dot add, and we can add different, yes, food and a drink and whatever, sport. So maybe you want your class to have multiple class sometimes, right? So in that case, you may need. Let's see if we have that. Yeah, paragraph, the first one we made, food, drink, sport. As you can see now, JavaScript can do almost anything you can do with CSS or HTML. Of course, the main purpose of JavaScript is actually to make this dynamic, and we can create it. We can create and inject some data dynamically, and also we may change the style and the content and the look of the application dynamically at any instant when something is clicked. So I think it seems a very good time to have a 10 minutes break and to get back. And if you have any question, hold it for some time and ask me when we get back. And in the next session, we will talk about event handling. And yes, good. Let's see after 10 minutes. Good. See you soon. Great. I think I want to show something. This nothing to do with DOM, but it's important. It's a higher order function. It's related to time, and this we call it set time interval. Set interval. This is how we write this set interval. It's a very important sometimes when we make some kind of application related to time. Where is this? I think it's, yeah. So this set interval higher order function, it takes a callback. So this callback, you can write it like as in a function, something like this. And the duration here. The duration is time in millisecond. But I prefer to use most of the time a raw function. So this is going to be just here. And the duration is going to be, for instance, this. And what is console.log hi. So now you may see hi every 1 second. Yeah. But this might not be interesting. For instance, let's count where we want to count from 0, and we want to count every time. Console.log count, and then actually count plus every time. And we don't want to do this. As you can see now, every second, it will, every 1 second. This is a millisecond, so 1000 millisecond is equal to 1 second. So we call it set interval. So if you want something to happen, of course you can make this to happen in 2 hours time, in a 2 days time. So you can increase this. For instance, if you multiply this by 60, then it will be in a minute, right? Of course you have to wait it for a minute. That's too long, right? But let's just see after 10 seconds, yeah? Yeah, that's too long to wait. Yep. Anyway, so you got it. So there is set interval here. Some important built-in higher order function you may consider to use sometimes. Another which I want to introduce, set time out. Set time out. So set timeout, for instance, if you want to lock the door at 6, yeah? If you want to door the door at 6 or maybe at 9, you just wait all day and you have to have some calculations, some time, and then you just lock it there. So for instance, now I want to greet everyone after, wait, console.log. Hi, everyone. I want to say this message after 3 seconds. Now let's wait. And then after 3 seconds, you will be greeted. Yes. And it runs once, but this is a continuous, okay? It runs every time, this one, yeah? So even it's very good to know how to clear. Let me just show you. It's even sometimes good to attach this let interval. You can just connect or assign this function to an interval. And when you finish, it's a very good idea to clear interval. Clear interval. And then you just pass this interval. Then that means actually you are clearing it. Yeah. If not, there is some just ongoing, some running script in your code. So I have to comment this out again. For some reason, my automatic commenting is not working. So I'm a bit lazy to fix that. Okay. Is it clear? Set interval and set timeout.
Yes.
Good. So you manage this kind of, for instance, after you win some quiz or game, instead of like right away pop up, it is good to have some delay, you know? If everything is just coming so fast, it's intimidating. So you can hold it for some time. Hey, wait at least for 3 seconds. And don't make it too long also, because users have also some reaction time. If it's too long, it's very boring and tiring for the users. But sometimes some delay is good for user experience. And of course, for something to happen also, you may have some interval or maybe some set time out. Great, now let's talk about input. Yeah, everybody knows input, right? Let me just show you here. For instance, I may just write input. You know, an input here. This is the minimum you need to write an input box. Yeah. So maybe if you have one input here, and then you may give some radius, and then calculate the radius. Yeah, this could be a radius. It should calculate, and then you should have a button, right? And then calculate. And then I should get the value of the radius of the circle. Hey, 10. Calculate for me. Of course, nothing happens because we didn't do anything so far. Yeah. Oh yeah, great. So let's do that. We can target const input, then document.query selector, and then you just have select input because we have just one input. And then let's see by consoling. Remember, just do as many consoles as possible, and console by itself will teach you what's happening. Yeah, it gives me this value. Okay, how about actually this input dot value gives you the value you have. For instance, if you have something here, you get it from here. But wow, there should be some connection between this and this. How do we connect this? Yeah, I will show you. Okay, now we have to also target the button. Okay, const btn or button, just button, document dot query selector, just button. Okay, now there's this event listener. We listen, for instance, this is hovering, right? I'm hovering, and this is clicking. So we have this event listener. So button dot add event listener. There's an add event listener mated attached to every HTML object because this is now an HTML object, and we can invoke it by passing two parameters. One is the event listener, that's the the event type. Now I'm interested in a click event, and now we need another function, and we write it something like this. Or if you want the other way, you can write a function and something like this. What do you prefer? I prefer the arrow function. I hope you do so. And now let me show you console.log. Well, maybe alert is much better. Alert hi. Maybe clicked. Now, if I click here, yes, clicked. Yes, clicked. Clicked. Even you can change this to hover. By hovering, it may show you. Oh, maybe mouse hover, mouse in, or enter this. Yes, mouse enter. Hover is not a good. Yeah. So there are different, so you don't have to remember all the HTML events. You go on the Google and search HTML events, and then you see all the available events, okay? Now, when I am clicking this one, when I click this, instead of alert, it should bring something, some data from here. Okay, how? Hey, from input, get the value. Okay, that makes sense. And then let's just alert this value. I will, okay, 10. Oh, have you seen? We managed to capture that. We are capturing it. So that's the success, right? Big success. And so alert actually is, I do not like alert. So let's just say let radius could be input dot value. We store it. And then you guys know that the area of a circle, let area is equal to mat.pi times radius. I think radius here times, yeah, square. This is square, right? By now you know what this means. And then now after that, let's even alert this value. Most probably we may have a problem because this value, the data type of this is string. We have to change the string data type to different data type. Did we learn how to cast the data types? Casting data types. Let me
you put number before, right? Or
yes, we have to change it to number. Let me show you what's the problem in here. I will show you. Let's comment this out. I don't know why this is not correctly working. I can comment it out. So by console.log type of radius. 10 as the type is, as you can see, string. So we have to change that type to something else. How do we change it? Two ways. One, we can change it to number. There's a number constructor and you put it something like this. And now if I do that, it will be a number. Yes, now the type's number. Or actually you can add plus next to this value and now it's also a number. I will show you that. Yes, it's a number. So crazy. Or you may just change it to parse int. Parse int is also sometimes you may lose some value, then maybe you can use parse float and then we can just 10 and then we get number. So there are many ways to parse, but I'm in favor of number. Okay, so I will just use number. And you just pass it to the number constructor and then you have it. So let's 10. Yeah, number. So after this, we don't have to worry about data type. We casted it. Cast means changing the one data type to another. We change it from string to number. Now we can multiply this. But after that, what are we going to do with this? We have to display it somewhere here. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Maybe we have to create a let p document.create element and then p and text no, it's okay, p.text content and the value is going to be just area. Yes, now you don't see, but if I append this value now, document.body.append child, and the p, you may see the value somewhere around. But when? Okay, for instance, 10 gives you, oh yeah, but you want it somewhere here, right? Why, it's too far. From user experience point of view, you need something next to you, proximity, right? This is too far and it should come there. So then you have to leave okay, let's just leave a hidden p, something like this. And then we should target this. And you may give it an ID. ID, you can call it result because that is for result. Even for the time being, if you don't like it, you may hide it. Yeah, Rolf was talking about that. So this ID can be hidden for the time being. And then when this clicked, it will turn to be visible. Yeah, but for now, we don't care for that. So instead of document, so let's just go to query selector. And this is going to be result. I think we called it result. And now, if we say 10, and if you just click, what's going on here? No, so we don't have to do this, actually. We don't need this. Document query, select a result, 10.
Sorry,
Yeah.
can you go a little bit slower?
Okay.
A little bit, thank you.
Yes. So what we did actually, we created this. First, we have this input. That means this value, I mean this field, this text field. And then we have a button to click it. And then when we click, we have to have some place to store the result, yeah? And that is, then what we did, first, yeah, I can comment this out also because it's not good for you to be bothered by these contents. But it was a very good example for anyway. So what we have now on this page is just only this and this. As you can see, an input, a button, and this. It's hidden somewhere here. If you want to see it, yeah, it's here, it's hidden. Yeah, you can see. Orange, great. Then what we did, we target that means getting the input, getting the button, then we attach event listener at the button. When the button is clicked now, as you can see, it's 0, yeah, because there's nothing. And even when we click, if there's no data, we can tell the user to, to add value. For instance, if may say, what's radius? If radius is equal to 0, because since if it is null, if you change it null to number, it's going to be 0. Yeah, that's the reason why we are getting that. So I take this here actually at the top, and the calculation would be, I can take the calculation also at the top, it doesn't matter. But this one actually, else here we say, please, please fill the text field. Where's the number? Yeah, so now if you see, yeah, please fill the text field with a number. But if I put 10, I will see this. And now this is not also very good. It's very big, right? For a human, I mean, it's very round. Either maybe let's round it. I think we have this math.round. Math.round. We can just give it for math.round and just, yeah, 3.14. And if you wanted to be more explicit, what? Yeah, you love string interpolation, right? A square meter, or the area of the circle I don't know if you're getting it or so. So now let's make it more. So instead of just one field, let's make it filled. And I think it would be better if you discuss about that privately. So the next task will be for a group task. Develop a small application that calculates the weight of an object in different planets. So that means you should have two input field. One for mass, another for gravity. Then you should have a button for calculating a weight to calculate weight. Yeah, I think this is the information. This information is enough. So I think you should copy this. I will repeat again. Develop a small application that calculates the weight of an object in different planets. Not okay, nice. Then your application should have, instead of just one, you should have two input field. Then calculate weight of the object. So there's one is for mass, one is for gravity. So just don't make it like only for Earth. It could be you. So users should put gravity. Okay, so I will send you to the private or breakout room. Yeah. And you will discuss and develop if you have time. I will give you 10 minutes. What? No. Mute the. Great, I hope you had a great time working in the breakout room. So let's see the solution together. I don't know where was the, yeah, this. So instead of just one, let's make this two field. But I think I was in one of the breakout room. You came up with different solution. But I will go for the simplest solution for now. Okay, maybe I think it's good to make this as a backup because you want to, want to practice with this. I can have a backup of this. Input field, single input field. Yeah. And I will destroy the unnecessary part. It's just for documentation, guys. So then you will have a yeah. I think I want to also copy one version of this. Yes. Yeah, now let's get back here. And this has also some kind of a mix of things, but I think I prefer to create a different file. So DOM to input field. HTML, and I just bring it here. And this is the question. So I can do it, but I want to destroy everything because it would be easy for you to follow me again from scratch. Yeah. But I think it's not a very good idea to. I have to stop the previous server here. Oh, why I don't see it? Yeah, so let's stop it and let's run the one I am interested, this one, yeah? Great, so we have what? But I think it's good to make it 2, right? Let's make it 2. Yes, this is what I was asking you. And calculate weight or find weight. So whatever. Because the reason why I'm changing it to find, because calculate the word is too big or too long, so now it just fits. Okay, great. Result, I'm fine with that. So, but this I think now it needs ID. I want the first to be mass and the second to be gravity. Yeah, is it clear so far?
Yes.
Yeah, you have 2 HTML input elements, 1 button, 1 p tag, and you have an empty script waiting for you to write a beautiful JavaScript code. Great. Don't go crazy. Okay, I'm just going nuts here. Document.query selector. You can go for query selector or for or other mass. Look at, I gave it mass and mass, so there's no confusion, and also mass here. So have you seen synchronization? But they don't have any connection. This is an ID and this is a selector, so it's just indicate that this, and this is my JavaScript object. Yeah, so this is an object, even though it looks like just a simple variable, actually it's an HTML object. Honest, mass, even it's better to say mass input. And then here, gravity input. Document, query selector. And then you just do the same, gravity. Yeah. So now you can get the value by writing gravity input.value, but when this clicked, right? So we have to attach an event listener to this. Then const button, that document query selector. Oh no, what is that? Selector. And we have just one button, so we just select it by tag name. Then, hey button, can I add an event listener? And it's going to be a click kind of event listener. And we have to have also that callback function here. Or so console or alert something. I am just clicked. Yeah, this is how you just check if it is connected or not. Yeah, now everything is connected. What's left is the calculation, what we have here. So to get the value now, let mass. The mass is going to be mass input dot value. Oh yeah, great. Let gravity mass. Gravity input dot value, the same thing. But I told you that what we get from the input is actually a string, so you can't multiply or subtract or divide strings. We just do arithmetic operation using numbers or with numbers. So we don't need this alert. Maybe we can do the calculation now. Let or const weight is equal to mass times gravity. Yeah, this is the calculation. It's a simple multiplication. So alert weight. And now let's see, I am 76 or something and I'm on planet Earth. Now let's do this calculation and we got this value, but we should round off this value to the closest number, yeah? So instead of just alerting, we have this, we have to target this. Result, yeah? Then we have to do honest result is equal to, or result paragraph, or result element, whatever. Document, the query selector, and I will put P. Then here I can, hey, result dot text content, and it's going to be the weight. Okay, now let's do 75, 98. As you can see, we got this value. 7,000. But is it really this? When we multiply this, it looks. Yeah, this 7,350. Calculator 75 by 98. Oh, that's right. Okay, good. So we got this. Now, if you want to write more detailed information about that result, you can just put string interpolation. You love string interpolation, I know that. The weight of the object is this. Now let's do some 175 by 98. And we should need a Newton. 75. 75 and what? Oh yeah, I was like, yeah, it's not 9.8, guys. That was a bit, the number was so big, yeah, 9.8. So now 735 Newton. Great. Was it easy to follow? Did you want to understand what's happening?
Yes, but could you share the code again?
Yes, it's so small code. We can even, yeah, this is what you need up to here. And then I will put it on Telegram. Yes, we have it there. For some reason, the string interpolation was not visible there anyway. Yeah. Okay, now we can do one small exercise together and we'll have a break. And this exercise is going to be a background change. So we develop a small application that changes the background every 1 second, the color of the background. Yeah, so that's going to be easy. Do you want to do it or may I just do it? Okay.
Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, now we're about to develop some script that allow us to change the color of the body background. Every 1 second, it should change the color of the background with random color. Okay, let's do it together because we have already a code and I will call this change background color. .html because it will be easy for you later to make use of the code. But if you remember last week when we learned, we developed some function that generates random color. Where is it? Let's do number, DOM number, something here. Let's see. It's not in here. Yeah, this one. If you remember, I need this card. Yeah, this part of the code. And I will come to here, then HTML, and I call it DOM. Yes, and just the script. What I need is just the script. And I need this function, as you can see. The function we wrote last time. Do you remember this function? You have a string.
Yes.
A string, and then we loop how many times? 6 times, and we generate hexacolor. So this generate hexacolor. So what we do actually, I showed you this interval, but first, before we do that, we have to stop the running server, and let's run this one. And it doesn't have anything, it's just empty. Okay, let's just put this to the left. Yeah, great. So now, but I think it's better if I set interval. Now I'm just showing you the purpose of this. Set interval, you need the callback, and of course the duration. I told you the duration we need 1 second. Of course you can change based on what you need. Then document dot body dot style dot background, and now I will change it to generate hexacolor. I invoke this, and then it changes every time. Yes. Now, this is your page. For instance, if you want to have some text there, I can put a text, H1, DOM, random background, colors, whatever. In the lazy way, let me style it here. Align, text align, center. If you want to see it. By the way, this is 1 second. Do you feel it's the length of 1 second, or is it long or short? I feel it. It's 1 second. Yeah, for me at least, yes. Of course, if you want to, for instance, you can make it 3 seconds, and you can see the difference. Okay. Great. Now I will, okay, let's have first a break, and then I will send you to do some small exercise. You will use a click here that changes the background. This is now changing by itself, but your task will be using a click. When you click, it should change the background. Now let's have a 10 minutes break. Is it okay? Yeah, I think. See you after 10 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. So yeah, what you need is a background button. So you have to have this background button. Then instead of this interval, actually, let's comment this out. Why my commenting is not working properly? So I just do some commenting here, but I take out this code. Then I have to have a handle, I have to say const button document dot query selector, and I just have to select it by button by tag name, and you know that we cannot touch add event listener, and the appropriate event type is click. So then we do this just for testing alert. Hi. Yeah, it's connected. So instead of saying hi, I can put my code here. As you can see, when it begins, but it's better to begin with some color. It's better to begin with some color. Yeah, it has some, when it starts, it has some color already. Of course, if you refresh it, also it has. Now, if you just click, yeah, so we managed to achieve this. Did you do it differently?
Yes, I actually, or we did it like writing a function that changes the color and then putting the on click on the button to call the function every time you click the button. So not doing everything in JavaScript, but doing some in the actual button.
Oh, okay. Can you so you write a separate function?
Yeah. So I just had function change color, and then the same script document.body
Change color, and you have this, and what do you have? This.
Yeah, there and there.
Okay, and you have, but you should have this outside at least. This once, and then instead you call your function called change color. Is that what you did?
No, no, I have in the HTML part, I have in the button.
Oh.
So button on click equals, and then the function.
Okay.
Change color.
Let me just comment this out. So you call this function there.
Yeah.
On click.
I can put it in the chat.
Yeah, I got it. Just okay. Then function change color, something like this.
Yes.
Yes, it's good. Yeah, this is one way of doing it. One way. So as you can see, guys, so the event type is on click, and we are calling this here. So there is different way of. So this is inline script, as you can see, and as in inline script. But sometimes whenever we want to have also different logic here, we can put this. Of course, you can put your logic over inside here also is possible. Yeah, both are possible. Great. Is there any other way you did it? Guys, there a different way? Yeah,
I think Akivsi and I did it, I think, similar to the first way. So we created like a function and just have it inside the document query selector. And the query selector, targets a button.
You mean this?
Similar to what you did. Yeah, I think we just didn't create a const of the button. I think otherwise I just created a ID in the HTML document.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's just minor difference, and it's
yeah.
Now I think it seems clear for most of you. How about if we finish what we started last time, the country thing? Okay, let me show you. I just leave this document here because I don't want to destroy it. If you want to check how it works, then you can just start from that. But there was some countries last. Yeah, I think we should have done it in a different week and for different folder the way we did it in other classes. What do we have in here? Yeah, this seems to somehow relate to countries. Oh, anyway, I got it. So if you see this, we have a country information and some kind of, by the way, I will ask you to maybe change this to the project I made somewhere. I will show you. I'm not going to do all that because it has lots of things and it will be, and it's what is countries. Yeah, at some point I showed you this thing. Yeah, as you can see, world countries data. Currently we have 250 countries. And then let's, as you can see, search countries by name, city, and language. Okay, we're here in Finland. Let's look for Finland. Oh yeah, as you can, Finland. Actually, it gives you also the population of Finland relative to world population. As you can see, it's a tiny population here, 5.4 million to 7.6 billion. Okay, how about if we look for Finnish? Yeah, by language, actually. There's only, I think in Sweden also they speak Finnish, right? It has to be. But let's search for Swedish anyway. Swedish speaking countries, as you can see, we have this Åland, I don't know if Åland or whatever. So this and Kirsi, how do you read this? Åland, right? Okay. So anyway, Åland, we have Finland and Sweden. We have 3 countries or states and their population, as you can see. So it has some, you can also rearrange based on the name or the capital city or the population. If you remove the search term, you get every country back again, and then you can sort. Yes, actually, if you do some kind of project by yourself, you are ready for a JavaScript job or for React job, because this is quite a lot. And as you can see now, you can also, this is dynamic data. So this application answer what dynamic and interactive means, by the way. Do you think it answer when we were talking about JavaScript can allows you to make your website dynamic, interactive? So do you see some interactivity and dynamism?
Yes, in the searching bar, it updates
Yes.
real time.
Yeah, if I look for, yeah, there's nothing. So the dynamism here, as you can see, it's empty because there's nothing related to with this search term. Even if I look for my name, we can't find it here. But if we look, for instance, English, yeah, 91 countries speaking the English language. You can see all the English-speaking countries, yeah, and their population actually. So based on your search term, this DOM structure is formed or created, and actually we see the dynamism and the interactivity of the application, and that's the role of JavaScript. Yeah, you can change this to that. Yeah, that's the point why I took you there. So because here almost now you are almost 25%, yeah, to make it look like this one or this one. I don't know, where did we? Yeah, to make it like this one. Yeah. Now let's work. So what am I going to do for this now? Let's add a search bar and search. Add search functionality. Yeah. Okay. What is this? Okay, great. So I don't like to destroy this. Instead, I want to have a copy of this data. Then you will have the previous copy. And maybe I paste it here and modify this. And I call it world countries. World countries data. And this would be good. But I should stop this one. And let's work on the world countries data. Yeah, so what do you need to make it this search? You need to tell me, what do you need? Input. All right.
The button.
And we don't need for now a button. We just want to have this search.
Yeah.
So I want just to do this search input type for just maybe width, maybe some padding. I can give it my maybe 10 pixel. I don't know. Let's see it through process. I want to make this to even it moves to the other screen. Nice. Okay, great. It's small anyway, so we actually let's just make it 100%, and it's not a CSS lesson, okay, guys? So what's border radius? Maybe if you want this sharp, maybe like 15 pixel, and it might be that is actually 25 pixel, and it will be more something like this. We have something like this. As you can see, the search bar is too big and it's like everywhere. So we want it to be somehow 80%. And I want to be in the middle, so margin, I maybe top and bottom, maybe 30 pixel, and auto to the left and right. Yeah. How? Maybe I think I have to change also the display block, because now it behaves properly. Okay, let's see how it's, yes, this is what I'm looking for. So as you can see, when it's active, it has some kind of ugly thing, so I have to remove that. No, how do I remove that? I think outline none. I think that could remove it already. Yeah. So, but the text looks like it's small, so you can change the font size. Yeah. The problem is once if you start CSS, you never stop. You know. Yeah, it's good enough. Okay, Finland, nothing happens. Great. Yeah. So we display this all the 250 states on the DOM structure or this, but now we get this value and filter and display. That is the idea, okay? So now we have to grab, so so it was DOM. So I want to work on that. I want to change also this. I want to call it countries object DOM. Yeah. So I have to copy that, the DOM value, this. Yes, now let's work on here. So now we have to have const term. You can say term input or key term input. A term is a keyword, the document, get element by ID or whatsoever, just not to mix. So we can give it actually a term there, and I will give it term. So as you can see, ID term. Great. Then let's see console.log term input dot value. Oh, what is that? Not value, but value. So now I told you that you don't need a click, but whenever you just write, there should be an event. So event could be different kind of events. There are lots of HTML events, but since I know them by heart, like it could be on key up, on key down, on key press, or when this change, when the input change. So there's the type of event, we call it input change. I will show you. So then I can attach it to itself. Term input dot add event listener input. Input is like when the input change, or maybe change, you can call it change. And then usually we have also this actually the event, we can handle that. We can target, but console.log e.target.value. E means actually it refers to the term, but we can access it also just term input.value. Either of the two, but let me show you now. What is this happening? Countries object not found. So I was okay. 45. I don't like when it's oh. 2 times. No, it should. For instance, term. Yeah, have you seen? When it is blurred, you see the value. Finland, blurred means when this is away from the changes away. Yeah, blurred, Finland. Yeah. Let's see. So the change works when it's on, I think when it's too, I mean, what is this? Too late a bit. There's a delay. I don't like that. So what was the, I think this is the, so we can change input. Let's see how the input event type works. Have you seen? This checks everything we write. This is what we want. Yeah. Because it checks. Or maybe key down or key up. For instance, key down. Whenever we just write a key, but for some reason, the first key, let me just refresh. We missed the first one, I don't know why. But I'm in favor of input anyway, because that captures at least everything for me. Yep, so as you can see, it's we're capturing everything we write. So that's great. Now, based on that, let's filter our object, country object. Where is the country object? Because the country object is available somewhere here. Yes, let me show you here. So we can put it here, country object dot filter, and filter, then a country. And from this country, do you remember how the country object looks like? I will show you. The name, if the name includes, do you remember the includes? Includes this term, water, eTarget.value. Let's put it here. Nice. And then let's store it here. Filtered data or filtered countries. Filtered countries. Now I will show you console.log filtered countries, and then we will see by searching Fin. Nothing is happening. Country.name, because I think maybe we forgot the structure of the country's object. Let's see how it looks like. The country's object
includes. There is typo. I cannot include.
I like
country.name.include.
I like Kirsty. She's mine. Yes, here, my lifesaver here. So that would be the problem then. Yes. And as you can see now, thin. F with F, how many matched? 19 matched. Fi, oh, I was expecting at least Finland. Nothing matched. What's wrong with that? Okay. So we should country. Now we're yes, I got it. So you have to change
capital or capital letters?
Yeah.
Uppercase, sorry.
To yes, we have to change everything to lowercase, guys. Okay, that is the very good thing. So to lowercase, and then after we check includes, and then again we have to also change this to lowercase to lowercase, everything to small, because we are checking different cases. Now definitely we may get includes is not defined. Where are we? Yeah, I think because when I copied it blindly. That's the problem when sometimes you copy things. It will be a disaster. I think nice. Yeah, we will have a look at the code again. Now first, let's see if it works. Yeah, I think it kind of working. Now, countries containing FI, if you check this, Finland and Fiji. Okay, let's see FR. FR, actually there are countries with FR, not actually most like FR, because the Central African Republic, it has FR, France, French Guyana or French Polynesia, French Southern whatsoever, and all these countries containing. So we managed to make it work, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
So now the logic, instead of showing everything, what we should show here is supposed to be only the
new array.
Yes, the new array, the filtered, this, yeah. Great, not printing on the console. We should show it on the DOM structure. Yeah, so then we have to take some of the data. The way we did it here is not very smart, but I will show you also a very shorter version of this today. And where did we inject every country the data? Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. So I can take this. Okay, maybe here. And then instead of this, you may say filtered countries. Now you may not see anything. You see when you search. Even it doesn't go more than that. Why is that? Okay. Yeah, okay, let's do another implementation. Because the way we did it here, there is an input in state. How about if we just let keyword something like that, and let filtered countries, and we can start with an empty array. This is another systematic way of handling. Then I can keep this as it is. So here, without const, you can just do something. Now we are starting with an empty array, and we are replacing it with this. Okay, why? Okay, yeah, let key filtered. But even we don't need this. What could help here? Filtered. Yeah, and also the filtered, we can say, we can have actually filtered again.
What is that countries object?
Where? Here?
Countries.
Yeah, countries. Countries object is the object. It's coming this one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, the whole array is countries object.
Ah.
Yeah, let's also see if we have any bug. It's very good practice to open this all the time, but as you can see, we don't have any problem. Okay, so let's see if we have some. Let's say for console of bug filtered countries and just try. Yeah, for instance, Finland is 2, but the problem, we didn't manage to display them here. Okay, what do I get outside? At each level, it's good to sometimes check. Oh, no. Nothing is happening here. Okay. Most probably we have to put our object, our loop inside the event handler here. Okay. Okay, maybe let's just do. Yes, now I think the problem, I got it. So we have to clean the body every time, okay? We should clean the body. How do we clean the body? Here, actually, we can start the body before we start. So document dot body. I think actually not the body. We should clean this container. The container dot inner HTML is equal to 0. I mean empty. That means we are just making everything or destroying the created, then it will not be repeated again and again. Oh, so we make it already, as you can see. Yeah, no, it was, oh yeah, great. It was a magic, right? Did you get the idea?
So can you explain what did
Yes,
you do?
the problem was, okay, whenever we touch this, a new thing is creating. Whenever you touch this. I want, before I move to the next statement, did you understand what I mean this, guys? Whenever I touch this, a new thing is created. So,
yeah.
So everything I touch that, the previous created document has to be destroyed. How about this statement also? So that means whatever the case, we have to destroy what we had first and then create something new. And then whenever you touch it, so this container.inner HTML empty means you are just wiping out. You wiped out everything you have. For instance, previously I was saying Finland, and then again you see Finland and Finland. So it will be full of like what you have the first time. Yeah. This is now, yeah, so it's pretty. So you managed to, so we have to add search by something, yeah? Which one is it? Is this placeholder? This takes a placeholder, right? Placeholder, we say search by country name, language, and city. So I think if I do both, I can do, but it's up to you to do it, the language and both, to search it, okay? Maybe next week, if you don't have the chance to do that, you may ask me, now it searches by name, for instance, Sweden. But when I say Swedish, I have to see all the Swedish speaking country here. And when I say Helsinki, I have to see Finland here. It doesn't work. I can do it, but if I do it, you don't learn. So you do it. Okay, what do you think here, guys? I have to give you time to breathe in.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, so far, you can also add, maybe if you want to, I think this is a very good project. You may try it by yourself. Yeah, even if I build this all over again, it takes me at least maybe 1 full day or 2 full day. Yes, if I do from scratch, even I know how it works, but for you, if it takes you a week, that is okay. Or even more. Because when I teach in a boot camp, I usually give them a project which has to be due in a week time, most probably from 7 to 10 days. And the size of the project is this. And also when you apply for a job in an IT company, they usually give you a task that takes a week to 1 week to 2 weeks. And the size is also, and the difficulty level is almost like this. It's not more difficult than this. Yeah, any question, guys? And another thing, I strongly recommend you to check out 30 days of JavaScript. I can't teach everything what we have on the 30 days of. If you see, there are many projects. Actually, one of the project was like animating what characters, maybe a solar system. Yeah, as you can see, this project, it has some background color. You put, this is what we did, right? You select the planet and mass is required because
Oh, nice.
yes, so something like this is just the background. Okay, this is just the background image, and the planets also, they're just images. We did this already. So based on this condition, if you select this as in a planet Earth, we should see the planet Earth and the result. Yeah, it's not a big deal. So
I have a question. It's not like specifically to JavaScript only.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, like, if you create a app to look for flight bookings or look for flights, like the cheapest flights.
Yes.
I'm just wondering, so you need something to create the backend to pull that data and put that from like different websites and put that into an object. Is that how it works? And then
I think this task may not need a backend, but it depends of the complexity. How much time do we have now? Okay, but by the way, how about, we didn't answer this one also. Maybe next week you have to remind me. I have to teach you also how to fetch APIs, because I think the DOM part is enough. We will also learn somehow DOM next week, but we are in a good shape. So we will fetch APIs. So if you have a different APIs of the booking site, if they provide, definitely they provide, without having a backend, that would be possible to achieve just using JavaScript. That means you get
would you have to create the, if you didn't have that, would you have to create the API yourself then?
No. The API means, like, for instance, I will just show you the country's API. You know, I have been showing that many times, right?
Oh yeah, no, I have tried with APIs.
Yes. So if you are creating an API, then you are already working on the backend and you are a backend developer. So that is completely different story. But my point is, in a form of such kind of API, different booking services, they may give different APIs. So you may have, for instance, API for 10 or 20 booking sites, and then you just use those 10 or 20 booking systems together and search and display based on the search term or key.
Yeah.
And based on the time, something. But there might be also complicated websites that use backend, and I'm not sure. I have never done something like that, but it's possible also. It's just front end. Okay, cool. And I also, someone also asked me in a private group about JavaScript. JavaScript is just only a front end technology. It doesn't store data. It's just a front end, just to display data. Okay, it doesn't do more than that. Yep. Something related to saving data, creating folders, creating files can be handled using MongoDB and Node, or it could be Python or Java or Ruby, other backend technologies. So JavaScript is a completely front-end technology. But before you go, guys, we have to fix this. If you don't search, when you are not searching, this actually shows empty. So it shouldn't be like that. We should have data, right? All the countries. How do we fix this? Let's check that and help me out why I solved the problem by myself. You should also help me. Yeah, this.
Should we start if that search box is empty? Should we do some if declaration there? Then show all the countries, but I don't know how to write it.
I would say we should change this to a function. This block of code should be changed to a function and should be outside. And we can call it different in different situations. For instance, I call it a function or honest create countries UI or whatever. It's the name of the function because that's the so whatever, it's a fancy name. It got a fancy name, right? So if I just call this function right away here, and let's give it also a text data, okay. Nice, and the data should come from here, yeah? So data. So when I'm calling it here outside country, what was the?
I think you put 2 A's in the word.
I'll come back. And then object, countries object, yeah? What was the 2A? Oh, it's everywhere. And when I am calling it here, actually, create countries UI, I can call it with the filter, yeah? I think this would be a solution. Yes, let's do that. Yeah, that was a very good solution, guys. Let me explain to you again. So we wrap this to a function, as you can see up to here, and it takes a data. That's great. So if it's outside, we give it the original data. But if it is clicked, if it is called inside, we give it the filtered data. Straightforward, right? Okay, if you give me some time, this way of writing is a bit too messy. I will take 5 minutes from you and let's rewrite this code somehow in a different way, okay? I will save this for you as in a reference, and I call it countries object. You can call it resource or backup, whatever, and JS, because I'm about to change this. The reason why, because creating like this DOM is not very elegant, I tell you. So what we can do, we can use just a string. We can just do something like this, div. Okay. Yeah, this is what we want. What else do we want inside? If you see here, what we have, one div, then the content, all the contents go here, the name, the capital, the population, right? So there's another div. And inside the div, actually, what are the elements? If you remember, what span? We have used span. How many spans did we use? Span. Instead of creating now, we are using actually just a template, and we are going to make use of the string interpolation. Yes. Let's just indent this. And then at the bottom, what did we use? If you remember, we have this, the flag. Yeah. Another div. And inside, actually, we use an image source. Of course, we can make it something like this for the time being, and good. So it looks like this actually, what we have. So let's indent just the image part.
Sorry, just first closing div has a typo.
Okay.
There is a DVI. So.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. So now, instead of doing like creating every time, I think we should do this differently. We don't need all this. So I am about to destroy it. Yeah, so I destroyed it. Sorry for that. And let's put this here. Then here, what we do actually, I didn't teach you destructuring, so I have to do it the long way, but next week we destructure data.name. But this is clear for you, right? Because we are doing string interpolation. This template is acting as like just a string. We have to put string, and we need here capital. And here again, we need this the dollar, and this is going to be the tell me population. Why is that for?
Language.
Yeah. And here you tell me.
Flag.
Yes, the flag. Maybe you can still use this. And data.flag. Why? Oh yeah, we don't need this because we have at the end already outside. Good. This is what you need. But how many times we have to append? So let's have outside let content, let's say content or country or countries. I can start from this empty. Then every time we have to append this. So how do we append it? Content plus this, but I think the plus should be here. After we do all this iteration outside, what we should do actually, document. Yeah, I think I have to put it to the container, this. Container.inner.html and content. I think this is what we need. Oh no, no data. But at least as you can see, there is some, there's sound.
Yeah.
But as you can see, at least, yeah, we are doing something. But there is something wrong. So let's figure that out.
Is that, Mr. Sabina, in the span, is that should be country.name or instead of?
Yes, it is country. Yes.
Yeah.
Country. So instead, we should have this, the country, as you can see, because we are iterating. It's iterated already. So it's country. Now, as you can see, we got the same result, and our code is so beautiful, much easier than before. Even now, this, you can even take it out, and I can call it markdown, or a kind of honest, correct content. And I return that value, you know. Why not? I'm returning, and it gets data from here. And this is going to be data. And then what you call here is actually create content, and the data values somehow something like this. Yes, now it's function after function. This is just the dead code we are not using, and this is let's clean. So every time when you are about to finish, you have to, if this looks weird, you can put it in a curly, in a parenthesis. Yes, something like that. Then let's see, this is everything. My linter is not working, so I am editing manually. What is this? This has to be code. This is also working code. So all in all, this is what you need, the code refactoring. We call this refactoring, but for some reason it's not working. Why?
You know why, Mr. Savina? When we use iteration variable, we use data. Country. So we need to use also data as it's an object name. So we have to rename it, or we can use it.
No, I think that's okay. That's okay.
And when you create a function in your last process, you use a count instead of data. So that might be a problem.
Okay, let's see. 21. Let's see 21. Country, because I make a type of country. Yes, have you seen this? That was the problem. But this is data is just okay, because this data, when it comes in here, it's not this data. So maybe I think the easy way, I can also change it to a kind of array, just for you not to get confused, okay? And also here, we can just array, because we are iterating through array now and then. Okay, but this one, it's the country, but this is just an array. Yeah, now we are done. Thank you so much, everybody, for your patience. I think I have to close and I have to stop also the recording.